Welcome to the IELTS reading lesson. Today we will study IELTS 16 Test 4 Passage 1, Roman Tunnels. This passage has 13 questions in 3 different types. First, there are 6 diagram completion questions, which need keyword location. Second, there are 4 true/false/not given questions. Third, there are 3 short answer questions. Knowing the question types helps us find answers faster. This passage has 5 paragraphs. It is an expository text about Roman tunnel construction methods. From passage 1 to 3, it introduces 2 tunnel construction methods, the qanat method and the counter-excavation method. From passage 4 to 5, it introduces the use of Roman tunnels in different areas. From passage 6 to 9, it introduces the planning and factors affecting tunnel construction. The diagram questions mainly match passage 1 and 2. The true/false/not given and short answer questions match later passages. Next is the note completion for Q1-6. One-word limit, mostly extracted directly from the text. Let's look at question 1. We need to find the blank that describes the tunnel construction method. The blank comes after placing and before over a hill, so we need a noun here. Let's locate paragraph 1 and look for a noun related to placing and over a hill. The original text says placing posts over a hill, so posts is the noun we need. This word is directly given in the text. So the answer to question 1 is posts. Let's look at question 2. The diagram needs a word to describe where the water finally goes. The blank is after towards a, so we need a singular noun. Go to the last sentence of paragraph 1. Look for the phrase flow from, down towards. The text says flow from the top of a hillside down towards a canal. The answer word canal is directly given here. So the answer to question 2 is canal. Let's look at question 3. The statement says the shafts were used to remove soil and also provided what? The clue word is ventilation. It comes after provided, so we need a noun. Let's locate the last sentence of paragraph 1. The key words are shafts and ventilation. The original text says which also provided ventilation. Ventilation is the answer. This word is directly given in the text. So the answer to question 3 is ventilation. Let's look at question 4. It is about the lid of the shaft. The text says the shaft was covered with a wooden or stone lid, so the answer is lid. The clue words are wooden or stone and covered. The blank comes after a, so the answer must be a singular noun. Let's go to paragraph 2 and scan for the unique phrase wooden or stone. The original text says were covered with a wooden or stone lid. The answer word lid appears directly here. So the answer to question 4 is lid. Let's look at question 5. We need to fill in a word for the thing at the end of the tool Romans used to check if the shafts were vertical. The blank is after the and before at the end of it, so we need a singular noun for the thing at the end of the plumb line. Let's go to paragraph 2 and look for the sentence that describes the object at the end of the plumb line. The text says Romans hung a plumb line, and made sure that the weight at the end of it hung in the center. Weight is the word we need, and it is directly given in the original text. So the answer to question 5 is weight. Let's look at question 6. The blank is for the word climbing. It describes what the handholds and footholds on the shafts help people do. Before the blank is help those, and after it is in and out of them. So we need a verb in ing form here. Go to paragraph 2. Find the key phrase handholds and footholds. The original text says to help those climbing in and out of them. Climbing is the word we need. It is directly given in the text. So the answer to question 6 is climbing. Let's look at question 7. This question says that in the 6th century BCE, the counter-excavation method completely replaced the qanat method. The key word in the statement is completely replaced. We locate paragraph 3. The scanning landmark word in the text is a second method, appeared. The original text uses the phrase a second method of tunnel construction appeared. The statement says completely replaced, but the text only says appeared as a second method, which implies coexistence, not replacement. This is a contradictory paraphrase, a logic clash. So the answer to question 7 is false. Let's look at question 8. This question says, only experienced builders were employed to build a tunnel using the counter-excavation method. The key clue words in the question are, only experienced builders and employed. Locate paragraph 3. The scanning landmark words in the original text are, required greater planning and advanced knowledge. The original text uses, this method required greater planning and advanced knowledge of surveying, mathematics, and geometry. The passage only says this method required advanced knowledge, but it never says only experienced builders were employed. This is a typical making something out of nothing trap. Note, it is not false either, because the passage does not give opposite information. So the answer to question 8 is not given. Let's look at question 9. This question says that information about a problem during the building of the Saldae aqueduct was found in an ancient book. The key words in the question are, found in an ancient book. We locate paragraph 3. The scanning landmark word in the text is, Saldae aqueduct system. The original text says, an inscription written on the side of a 428-meter tunnel describes how the two teams missed each other. The information is on an inscription on the tunnel wall. The question says the information is in an ancient book, but the text says it is on an inscription on the tunnel wall. This is a substitution of the object, a type of opposite replacement. So the answer to question 9 is false. Let's look at question 10. The mistake made by the builders of the Saldae aqueduct system was that the two parts of the tunnel failed to meet. Key clue words, the two parts of the tunnel failed to meet. Locate to paragraph 3, scanning landmark words, the two teams of builders missed each other. The original text uses, the two teams of builders missed each other in the mountain. The statement says the two parts of the tunnel failed to meet, and the text says the two teams of builders missed each other in the mountain. This is a clear synonym replacement. So the answer to question 10 is true. Next is the note completion for Q11-13. One-word limit, mostly extracted directly from the text. Let's look at question 11. What type of mineral were the Dolaucothi mines in Wales built to extract? The blank comes after to mine and before mineral, so it should be a type of mineral. Go to paragraph 4 and look for sentences with Dolaucothi and mineral. The text says traces of such tunnels used to mine gold can still be found at the Dolaucothi mines. The answer gold is directly given in the original text. So the answer to question 11 is gold. Let's look at question 12, asks, besides the patron, whose name might be carved on a tunnel? The blank is after, and sometimes the name of the, so we need a noun for a job or role. Go to the second half of paragraph 5, look for sentences about inscriptions and names. The text says most tunnels had inscriptions showing the names of patrons, and sometimes the name of the architect. The answer word is directly given in the original text. So the answer to question 12 is architect. Let's look at question 13. The passage asks, what part of Seleucia Pieria was the Seleucia tunnel built to protect? The clue words are protect and Seleucia Pieria. The blank is after the, so the answer should be a noun. Let's locate paragraph 5. Look for the unique place name Seleucia Pieria. The original text says, the 1.4-kilometer Seleucia tunnel, built to divert the floodwater threatening the harbor of the ancient city of Seleucia Pieria. So the answer is harbor. This word is directly given in the original text. So the answer to question 13 is harbor. Now let's summarize 3 common tricks in true-false not given questions. Trick 1, opposite meaning. The question says the opposite of the text. For example, questions 7 and 9. The question says the two parts of the tunnel failed to meet. The text says the two teams of builders missed each other in the mountain. Trick 2, wrong object. The question changes the subject from the text. For example, question 7. The text talks about two teams of builders. The question talks about two parts of the tunnel. The objects are different. Trick 3, extra information. The question adds details not in the text. For example, question 8. The question says the first to use explosives. The text never mentions any order. Remember, opposite meaning equals false, wrong object equals false, extra information equals not given. Now let's review the important vocabulary from this passage. True question paraphrase, question failed to meet left-right arrow text, missed each other. Completion key terms, posts, canal, ventilation, lid, weight, climbing, gold, architect, harbor. That's all for Test 2 Passage 1. Hope it helps you.